Hey YouTube, it's your girl Davina Love back with another video. Welcome back, welcome back. How are you doing, my busy bee? Staying busy, I hope. Keeping it sexy? Always. And today is another awareness look. Did you know October is National ADHD Awareness Month? And a lot of adults, but more so children, are suffered with this disease. And we're doing this look. It's a collaboration. This is a bunch of YouTubers come together to do a look towards the awareness. So while I'm doing my look, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my understanding and awareness of ADHD and how it affects my life on a daily basis. Oh yeah, not just on a simple little it comes, it goes. No. Daily. So to start, the color for National ADHD Awareness is orange. I'm going to place a little powder under here so I don't have any issues. You know, your girl loves a lot of powder because I like a lot of pigment, you know. And I did do my base because I didn't want to keep you guys on here forever, but I always keep you on here at least for 20 minutes, you know. And I'm so happy that you guys watch and support my channel and support me in my journey on this channel. And also, when I mean journey, my journey with dealing with ADHD on a multiple scale. Okay. My son, my baby boy, was diagnosed with ADHD right before the pandemic. So he's in school. He's barely in pre-K, and then he was going into kindergarten in the fall, and they only spent about half of the term in pre-K. And he was diagnosed right off the bat. I was seeing him at home in a different light than I would at school. Because nowadays, I don't know if your schools have it, but my schools here where I live definitely are videotaped. Not to have any more issues in classrooms with teachers and teachers with students. And that's good. It's a good thing. I don't knock having the cameras in classrooms at all. I think it's well needed, especially with my child, because I want to be able to go back, just like any other concerned parent, if there's any reports, review the footage. Also, before I go on any further, I'm using a mix of things to make this look. I'm using the Spring Fling palette from Hank & Henry, and he's got all the favorite things in there. He's got some green. This orange is actually a shimmer, and I just put that all over my eyes while I'm talking to you. And I'm going to be using pink to represent one of the other ladies. Her child, his favorite color is pink, and my baby bug, his favorite color is green. So I'm going to incorporate orange, pink, and green in all this look for you today, and I have no plan. So we're just jumping on in here, okay? But yes, he was. Oh, and I'm also using a pigment tower. I'm using the orange, the pink, and the green. And I'm also going to be finishing it off with my bug's favorite glitter, and it's a green. That's why I have a green cast, because his favorite color is green. But I've got a green glitter with some chunks and some littles and some bigs, and he wanted me to use that in my look. So we're going to throw that all up on my face today while we talk. So this is the next color I'm going to go into is the pigment, because I want this orange to really pop and be the dominating color. So yes, my baby was diagnosed soon after the pandemic, and that was very hard on my family because they had not understood this disorder before. They've never really dealt with it. It wasn't something that is necessarily, mental health is not something that, or any type of disorders are discussed in a lot of families, and that needs to stop. It needs to be discussed and it needs to be understood. So in my family, after I moved away from home, uh, I made sure to make it a very dominant representation of it in my household, that mental health needs to be discussed, and or just any disorders, they need to be discussed and they need to be understood, because the babies, these children and adults don't deserve the treatment sometimes that they get, being misunderstood on how to effectively work their emotions, on how to effectively um, even talk about it with others. So I make it a point to educate myself a little bit more on certain disorders. I need to educate myself a lot on a lot of disorders, like I stated in my last tribute video. But I am working on it. Your girl is working on herself and on her family and on her babies, because it is very, very important. And we just haven't. And I find that to be something really hard for me to um, understand. I understand that it's that we haven't talked about it because of the pandemic, also because they're very young. But as far as the adult clan in my family, I literally say clan because we are a tremendous group. There's a lot of us in my family. I am literally number 2 of 38 grandchildren, and my eldest son is number 2 of 56 great-grandchildren. My grandparents only had 8 kids, and out of the 8, only, I want to calculate them right, 7 of them had children, if I'm doing the math right. If not, only 6 of them had children out of everyone. I was raised in the house with every one of them, and I seen this disorder, but didn't know what it was very early on in my life. Basically, when you have ADHD, it's just like having dyslexia. It's just like it's literally a melting pot of issues. You're not able to speak up for yourself properly. You don't know how to form the words properly, and it frustrates you. Everything will frustrate you because you try so hard to say what's on your mind, to say what the answer is, to say things, but they come out of your mouth backwards, sideways, wrong, or can be taken very, very wrong. And that's what my baby was going through, and a lot of my cousins were going through. They just thought, when you hear ADHD, you just hear, oh, you just got a hyper child, medicate them. No, it's not that simple. Even with the medication, they are still not understanding exactly what is going on in their daily life. They still don't understand what they're saying. They still don't understand if they're saying it right. They still don't understand, especially when you get told 1 + 1 is 2. And you keep saying it to yourself over and over and over, over and over and over. 1 + 1 is 2. But they've given you a whole list of maybe 5 to 6 questions and answers. And when you get back to you and you raise your hand and they say, what is the answer to the first question? 99% of the time, the answer is on the tip of their tongue. So it's going to frustrate them to no end that they are not able to get it out. That's what I go through with my son's ADHD. He talks all the time. And that is not a problem with me because, you know, his mama's a talker. I've always been a big talker. And work did not come extremely easy to me either in school because of my dyslexia. And because I'm so nearsighted, it's unbelievable that my glasses would be the size of this. Just big old giant glasses, and being teased and made fun of and misunderstood just was not my gig. It really wasn't. So I relate to a lot of parents and a lot of children that suffer from this disorder. If you don't know anything about this disorder, please educate yourself, because it isn't hard to understand. It isn't hard to take a minute of your time and talk to a doctor and talk to your children so that they don't become bullies. That's a big part that hurts the most, is the bullying. My baby asks me all the time, Mom, why do you say I'm super smart? I'm like, because you are super smart. You are very educated, very poised, very up there with your knowledge. And that's why I call them both, you know, my little old man, because they have some very outgoing, older knowledge of things that I don't even sometimes wouldn't be able to tell you about. And so I really respect that about them, and how hard they work to try to understand certain little things, and how hard the world is on them. Now the fun fun part of the whole thing is that they can do multiple things at once, and they can get certain tasks done better than most of us. Sorry, that black was not supposed to go that far out. My boys pick up things so quick and hang on to that knowledge way better than they can other knowledge. That is a big part of ADHD too. You can pick up on certain things like a radio signal, and you can own in on it, but then there are other things that you're not able to pick up on and not able to own in on. And that's when they get frustrated. That's when you deal with a lot of the crying spells and the hardship. And I mean, I spent a lot of days crying. I spent a lot of days crying with my babies because I hurt for them, and I hurt for the world. That is just my Virgo-ness. I worry about people in and around the world that don't even know me, but I need them to know that I worry about them. You know, so if you do stumble upon this video and you do know, excuse me, my allergies have been acting up really bad for the last few days. Know someone that is suffering from this, reach out to them. Let them know that you stopped by my video and you're now getting an understanding a little bit of what they're going through. So I'm only talking from a child's perspective, but from an adult's perspective, it can be like driving in traffic with 3 different radio stations on and not being able to focus on anything else than what is in front of you at that moment. And it's extremely difficult, extremely hard, I keep using extreme a lot right now because it is extremely hard for me to explain it to you, and then it is extremely hard for people to be related to in that sense, you know, to be relatable. So you want to be relatable, you want to be friendly, you want to be knowledgeable. These are things that you know, adult you want. But that ADHD in you, or, you know, in that disorder in you, is just unable to grasp and hang on tight and go for the long haul. So if you're having difficulty at work and at school, honey, I can relate. I know the hardship of it. And I know that you know the hardships of it. A lot of you guys now can say, oh, wait a minute. Don't self-diagnose anybody. Please. I urge you never to do that. Always take your time and go out and get diagnosed. Don't self-diagnose yourself. Don't Google anything that you don't know anything about, trying to get more understanding out of it, when there are medical books that can break it down for you way better, way easier. And I mean, Google is just not your friend when it comes to what I'm saying right now. Google is just not your friend. It just gives you a broad range of things to look at, and you're just stuck in between a rock and a hard place, which is basically what it feels like. Also, be kind. I always say be kind to everyone, because you don't know what they're going through. And that's something a lot of people don't know that I go through, is with ADHD, your babies have a hard time. My son has a hard time sleeping. He has a hard time staying asleep, and just shutting his brain off for a small amount of time, enough to get some rest. So, of course, there is medication for that, and that is what we do naturally. Melatonin is one of the best ways to shut down your brain a little bit, to slow you down. We as human beings have melatonin in our body already, but as we get older, sometimes it kind of runs out, and that's where you can add natural melatonin to help with that. Also, you have problems understanding your eating habits, your food. I have sleep apnea. I've had it for a long time, so I don't sleep well. And so with that, my baby also is disturbed by me. When he finally gets some rest, I could just make a laugh or something, and he thinks he's missing something, so he's going to wake up. So that's just basically my outlook on it. I want to be respectful about this always. I don't want you to feel that I'm disrespecting you at all if I did not mention something personal that you yourself, as a sufferer of these disorders, may be going through. I'm just going off of my personal life itself. So please, I hope that you understand that, at least, that I'm going off my own personal experiences and my own personal life. But there is other things that, you know, ADHD people, adults, do self-medicate. So if you find someone that is going through a rehab program, or needs a program, they may be suffering from a mental disorder that they don't know, or chemical disorder that they may not understand, and they self-medicate. And of course, nobody wants that around them. Nobody. I'm not going to sit up here on this camera and tell you, reach out to a drug addict if they don't need help. No. I'm going to say, reach out to, or let them reach out to you too. That could help, you know, and talk about it. Always keep an open dialogue. All that will help in the long run. I'm not going to discourage that at all. I'm going to tell you, that's the tea. Talk about everything. Keep an open dialogue on every subject that you think may help a loved one or friend that's suffering from any disorders whatsoever. Any disorders that we need to have awareness about. You know, don't discourage them, don't knock them. You want to support them. If you want to even help someone who has ADHD and you don't know how, I would say your first best bet is to go reach out to your local church. My local church has helped me tremendously. There are so many teachers, educators, doctors that I didn't even know I was sitting right next to in church. I didn't know that. So once I was able to know that and put it out there, talk to your local pastor, talk to a priest, reach out to a deacon, a deaconess, you know, whatever your religion support groups are called, because I don't know them all. I'm Christian, so I only know what mine are called, and that's deacon, deaconesses. Reach out. They don't mind. They are here to educate. They are here to help. And even though they're there to serve God, because we're serving God, they find it even more so their job to help educate you. And then, if that's, I'm stating those people first. Reach out to your local church. Reach out to your local community things. These are for people who really don't like doctors. You know, if you don't want to just rely on Dr. Feelgood's information, I can understand that. I would never tell you not to reach out to someone. If you feel discouraged, I would tell you don't reach out to that person. So if you don't trust a Dr. Feelgood, your girl understands. I used to have a Dr. Feelgood, and he felt so good all the time. He went on vacation every other month. He sure did, and would leave me hanging. But that's what you got to do. You've got to go out and reach out. Nobody's just going to come to you. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm reaching out to you, my subscribers. I'm reaching out to you, the world, YouTube land. This is a really big platform. And I wanted to spread my knowledge of awareness of this disorder with you and share it with you the only way I knew how. And I'm so happy that the ladies and gentlemen who are involved in this collab invited me to be in this collab before even knowing that I have a child that suffers from ADHD. And in fact have multiple adult relatives that suffer from ADHD. So I appreciate that a lot, ladies and gentlemen, that you all here are supporting us, and their channels will be linked in the description box, so you can check them out. Subscribe if you like. You don't have to. I mean, it's free, but if you don't want more free knowledge, more free personal experiences, hey, I'm not going to knock you for it. But we're not going to not accept it if you do come in and ask us a few questions. We're going to totally take you with open arms. We are. And we're going to let you know right off the bat that we love you and we support you, and we feel as a collective hue that this is something that you needed to know. If every so often you hear something weird, what you're hearing is me going into my Fluid FX. That's what I use to create this liner with the pigment. Because my baby boy, he loves that green boy. I don't know why. But I'm also using the Fluid FX as a mixing medium to grab onto my glitter. And where would we like to place this glitter? I think we're going to place it right in the the center to the out, because it's not exactly a super pigmented glitter. Like, there's no color base to it. It's just a few colors added. What do you think? Maybe all over would be best. Yeah, keep it all shiny. Because that's what I feel. I feel like this is a disorder that needs to be a shining beacon in a lot of our lives to understand. It also causes depression. It is a melting pot. That's why I said it's a melting pot of issues. It causes depression because you don't understand what you're going through. You don't understand if anybody else understands what you're going through. And my baby's only 6. So for him to be suffering from depression at age 6, that really hurt. That hit me so hard in the gut as a parent, because, you know, you just don't understand you don't understand why your baby's upset. You don't understand why you're upset. You don't understand why the world's upset. But you love them, and you continue to love them and show them the support that they deserve from you. And we will all get through this together. We are not alone. You are not alone. I know now that I'm not alone in this, now that I've had a few adult relatives actually open up and bring it to my attention, that I'm not alone. And I want to make sure that you know that too. You are not alone. I always got to do that for some reason. Just get the glitter out and off. Alright. So what do you think? I'm just going to finish this look up with a little bit of blush and glitter and highlight. But I'm not even going to use a blush as a blush. I'm using actually the Fenty Painting for Your Thoughts as my blush, because it's such a dark burgundy. And it's super pretty for fall, you know. And I think it will warm this whole look up to a new horizon. Because it's a pretty, I mean, it depends how dense the brush I use to get this to work too. Ooh, I'm getting off topic. You see that? That happens sometimes. I get off topic real easy. I'm not even supposed to be talking about the makeup. I'm supposed to be talking about what we're talking about, which is ADHD. And keeping it aware. You're on social media right now. So, join a Facebook group. Or you don't even have to join them. Just look at them. Look at and read some of the experiences that people are going through. And if you feel that maybe 3 questions out of the 5 are questions that are pointing back at you, you may want to look at other avenues and support groups. If you feel that you are overwhelmed and depressed and can't just stay on topic and haven't been able to hold down a job, can't stay in school, it may not be your environment. It may just be the fact that you may have a disorder that is undiagnosed. And we're here for each other. We're here for you, and I'm here for you whenever. I'm here in the comments. I'm here on my lives for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I will not turn you back. I will not turn my back on you. I will not turn you down. I want you to understand that full-heartedly. I know I didn't just look at the camera doing that, but I prefer to look directly at you and let you understand. I am here for you. Be just the same way you're here for me. As my friends, as my subscribers, I am here for you, because without you, I wouldn't get out of the bed. I wouldn't have a reason to get up. I wouldn't have a reason even. I've never had a reason to want to show off my makeup or show off my skills, because I felt that there was no place for me. And there really wasn't at that time. But now, in this new generation and in this new time, there is a place for everybody. And there probably always have been a place for me, and I just didn't know it at the time. You know, so back then I stayed in the library with my head in an audiobook. Thank goodness for small favors like grandmas. Grandmas are awesome. My grandmother would read my favorite book and put it on audio so that I could follow the words along and sound them out. And so if I seen it again in school, I could identify it, and I could just bluntly out and out tell the teacher that long word that I could not say and didn't understand the definition for back then. But that is where I'm ending it now. Thank you so much, my busy bees, for coming and visiting with me and helping me, and my other YouTubers, friends, and family that I have totally fallen in love with and can't wait to invite to Thanksgiving and Christmas. Thank you so much for spending time with all of us and supporting us and showing awareness for whatever we're going through. And I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to call someone. Tell them you love them. Bye.